What if I told you that being an introvert does not mean that you need to be drained by social interactions? When you're about to go out, you already dread the whole interaction. You wonder about what could go wrong, what you should be saying, you should be doing, all of these things. But you still end up going out anyways. And when you do so, and you're finally there, instead of being present, what happens is that you just start to loop inside of your head. Instead of being present, you just happen to wonder what you are doing, thinking and being extremely self-conscious about what's happening with you, what you are doing wrong with your body language, what you are saying if that is weird. And if it so happens that you do say something that is a little awkward, you just keep on looping through that, wondering what the hell you just said, how embarrassing that was, or how bad that was. And then, when you go home, you keep looping again and again. And then you're wondering why social life is actually draining you so much. But the issue that I realized, because I had the same, kept on going out and draining my own energy rather than the social interactions draining my energy. When I went out, I would always be extremely self-conscious. I would always wonder if what I was doing was right or wrong. And when I did something where I believed it was wrong, I would keep on looping. But it is this exact looping that we do inside of our head that we are not present in the situation and see it for what it is, an interaction with another person rather than an interaction with yourself, that we will keep on draining ourselves and feel like social life is something that drains us a lot. The feeling that this causes in us is shame. We feel ashamed of ourselves, ashamed of what we have done. But it's this exact feeling that is also the reason why our social battery feels so drained. Whenever I went out and felt that shame, I was left completely tired. I didn't really feel like I gained much out of this whole interaction when I went out. But then I started to realize that the way I approach social interactions, the label that I give myself, believing that I'm an introvert and this is just how it goes, this is just how it is, was the identity that I was giving myself, the label that I was giving myself. But it was also the exact reason why it always went that way, because I basically was destined to be that way. When I started to approach this whole thing differently, instead of thinking that I'm an introvert, so I am going to be drained by that, which I believe that we shouldn't put labels on ourselves because they just limit us in various ways. I started to think what I could do better if me being ashamed of having done something wrong, something that was not perfect, has any kind of importance and what would actually matter when it comes to social interactions. So I decided that I will go out, and when I do have social interactions, instead of worrying about myself, that I will try to take a deep breath, ground myself at least a little bit, and then to try and ask one question that is out of pure curiosity. Nothing else. Something that I was truly curious about. Whoa. Cold. I tried to ask one question that is out of pure curiosity. Something that I was really wondering about with the other person. This allowed me to then be more present, to actually focus on the other person rather than on myself. And while that didn't fix everything, it was a step in the right direction, because it showed me that if I learn to approach social circumstances the way that they actually should be, that I can have much more fun with them. And I actually managed to build better connections through that, because when you show interest in someone else, magically the person feels like you care about them, which you do. We love talking about ourselves, so we then wonder, hey, maybe I should ask something about the other person too. This way, you can first of all get rid of small talk and get to deep talks much faster. But more importantly, your social battery is not going to be drained so fast as it was before. Because the whole problem is the shame loop. The whole idea that you've done something wrong. This drains our brain power, our processing power, everything. And this feeling of shame, while it serves a purpose, in this case it's just a feeling that drains your battery a lot. If you have 100% and when you feel that shame through social interactions, and that usually constantly, that is the way it was for me, then it's going to drain your battery much faster rather than if you have good interactions. Do not worry about that. Actually show interest in the other person and get rid of that label that you are an introvert, that you are supposed to be drained by social interactions, and the only way that you can charge yourself up is by being alone. And while I believe there's truth to the whole introvert extrovert thing, I believe that if we focus too much on these terms and labels, that we just limit ourselves. I do believe that I am an introvert, but I do also believe and I know that I can get out of the skin. And I did. Social interactions are not as draining anymore. And I truly wish that for anybody else out there who thinks of themselves an introvert and feels drained after social interactions. Because even as an introvert, we are social beings. We are social creatures. We need social interactions. We love social interactions. So whether you're an introvert or extrovert, leave that behind you. Get that label away. Put that away. And try to focus on what actually matters. And in social interactions, it's less about yourself. Try to go outside of your skin and focus on the other person. And try to learn something about them. And when you do get into that shame loop, try to put a break onto that and think to yourself, does it truly matter? Because we all say and do awkward things. Even the most confident person says a weird thing, but they will take it in a much different way and approach than we usually do, than you do. It's about how you will handle that situation rather than what you will say. I truly hope that you can. I would love to know why you feel like social interactions drain you, and if they do, let me know in the comments down below. Consider subscribing if you want to learn more about these kinds of things, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.